Let's start off with the voice note. It says,
I tell you this. When ship left America, so them come to Jamaica and give free medical. Me say, oh, cheat a doc. Me say it reach already. Do not.
Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. With no further ado, listen, there's a USA military ship that's in Jamaica right now as we speak. And that ship is acting as a hospital. So it's known as a floating hospital, the biggest one in the world. People are being very scared, okay? People are afraid right now because, and they have right to be. I'm going to show you a couple of things here, and I'm going to leave the rest for you to decide. I'm not going to tell people to go. I'm not going to tell people not to go. I'm going to, you know how I do already over here, so balance the scales and leave the decision to you. Alright? That's what we're going to do. First, let's start off with this voice note. This voice note was put out there among many other voice notes I've heard, about 4 of them, warning the people. You know, sometimes people don't really know what I'm talking about, and sometimes they do know what they're talking about. I'm going to show you why people are probably scared, and so on and so forth. So, here's the voice note.
Sonika, I tell you this. When ship left America, so them come to Jamaica and give free medical. Me say, oh, cheat a doc. Me say it reach already. Do not, none of you spread it in your contact. None of you go down there go take no free medical from them. I kill them, come for kill off black people off of the planet, and them go every black country, Caribbean country, for kill off people. America don't give a free healthcare up here. So I don't know America left America, come to Jamaica, come give a free medical down there. The plan is is to eliminate we off of the planet. Please, may I ask to spread it to everybody. Don't take it. No, see nobody are coming and go no medical, nothing. Don't take it. May I tell you, no take no pill, no medicine, nothing to do with no medical wise and carry on your yard and consume it, because they do not go there, Please spread it out in your contact and tell everybody, don't, as far as we have in your contact, and spread it out. That's the people, then beware and not take it. Jesus, God Almighty.
Alright. And that was the voice note, right? That was one of the voice notes, and I'm not going to play all of them because all of them pretty much are saying the same thing. Be aware, don't go, because they have ulterior motives, and in a sense, they are right. But let me show you some more things. We're going to talk about the Tuskegee Experiment, because people are saying, Chuck, I'm afraid I don't have nothing to afraid about. Right? And I want you to know that I am not here to say people don't have no right to be fearful. Okay? People have the right to fear. I want you to hear this. This video is 3 minutes and 32 seconds long. So if you can't spare 3 minutes and 32 seconds of your life when your life depends on it, then it's your business that. Alright? Hear this.
How many people did it involve, Simon?
Anything from 5,000 people upwards.
That many?
That many. So Simon was a big organization.
And what kind of operations were you doing?
Well, it was clandestine operations. We were involved in coups, taking over countries for other leaders. We were involved in Mozambique, spreading the AIDS virus through medical conditions. We were involved in Angola with Dr. Jonas Savimbi for various operations. We got military support.
So people were killed during these operations?
Oh, definitely.
We existed. I just do the question again, and then you can pop in.
Yeah.
You mentioned actively spreading AIDS.
There was a unit in from Simon that
Spreading AIDS.
One of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
Through vaccines?
Yeah, through vaccines. Pretending to inoculate people and that type of thing.
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people. You must understand the concept was that AIDS was a killer. It was incurable at that point in time, so it was led to believe that if you infected people, it was the quick non-militaristic approach to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that AIDS was actively being
Yes.
spread to
Yes.
other countries?
Yes, to African countries. We were at war. Black people in South Africa were the enemy.
But so it was about white supremacy?
Definitely. Definitely trying to retain the white supremacy on the African continent.
And furthermore, he tells us that the purpose of Maxwell's clinics in and around Johannesburg was to infect black people with HIV.
He had the one in Tuskegee, he had the one in Alex.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, it was on the West End. So, and these were research facilities for them to inject people with a solution to see that they prevented AIDS in it. In the meantime, they were injecting people with AIDS.
And he was only working on black people in these clinics?
Yes, yeah.
For almost nothing?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So you know what I mean. What easier way to get a big guinea pig? That you live in the apartheid system. Black people have got no rights. They need medical treatment. There's a white philanthropist coming in and say, you know what, I'll open up these clinics and I will treat you. I will do this. And meantime, you actually the wolf in sheep's clothing.
That's gruesome.
Okay, that's part 2 of what I wanted to show you. Like I said before, I'm not here to convince you to go take treatment from the ship. I'm not here to convince you to not go take treatment from the ship. Me showing you that is me telling you that the people who are fearful have a legitimate reason to be fearful. And anybody who tries to silence someone who is saying something about that fear or trying to show the legitimacy of that fear, then they must have something to hide themselves. Because you know people are going to say, why are you making the people paranoid, huh? They just coming to help. They're not doing anything well. History shows, and history oftentimes repeats itself. If we cannot learn from history, then wherefore do we go into the future? Let me go on. Alright, one more thing I would like to talk about, because this one is near and dear to me, because as you know, I served in the United States Army, right, for a number of years. And I remember when I was going in, somebody said, a family member said, yo, make sure you don't take any medication when you go in there. Make sure you don't take any injections when you go in there. Make sure you don't take any of their stuff, because most of you guys, they're using you as experiments, especially the black soldiers, right? And I said, okay, I'll remember that. But when I got in there, I didn't have a choice. It was pull your pants down on the right side, expose your right ass cheek, injection. Next man, injection. Next man, injection. Pull your left sleeve up. Everybody stand in the line. Next man, injection, injection, injection. Sometimes you had like 3, 4, 5 injections at once, right? So you don't know what you were being injected with. And I'll say this to the people who are being cynical and all that. I've always believed since I was very, very young that we all have a date with death. And what we do with this time on earth is up to us. Okay, you have to come and you have to make an impact. And not only that, you have to multiply and replenish the earth. Leave life here as well. And not only that, leave your seeds in a position where they are better off than the generations before them. That means accumulating generational wealth. You understand? So these are the main things that I always thought about ever since I was young. So someone had to make a sacrifice, and for me, that was my sacrifice. Now I must tell you, I've been out of the military and my body is fine. I am more active than people that are in my age group. I am more, let me see, I'm physically fit. I don't get sick. You know, and I don't know if it's a testament to that or if it's just a regime of me also keeping up with how I was raised and the kind of foods I was raised on. And me like me yam and me yellow yam and me them kind of thing, me chicken foot soup and, you know. So I don't know if it was all that, but I'm just letting people know that the fear that people have is very real, and it comes from a place that is also very real. Now, people are saying, oh, what is the Tuskegee Experiment? Hear this. The Tuskegee Experiment began in 1932, at a time when there was no known treatment for syphilis after being recruited by promises of free medical care for 600 men. So they recruited 600 sharecroppers, farmers, and they told them, yo, let us give you treatment, right? Let us be your doctors for free. And of course, they were poor and they didn't have it. And they thought, wow, these humanitarians, they're coming to save us, give us medical care. So the participants were particularly sharecroppers who had never visited, most of them had never even visited a doctor so far in their life. If you know about this experiment, you will know about the syphilis. We know today what syphilis is. They knew back then what it was as well, but they did not know the full extent of the disease. So in wickedness, what they did was they conducted an experiment injecting these men with the syphilis virus. The men were monitored by health workers, but they were only given placebos. A placebo is a fake drug. It's like you say, here's your heart medication, take the pills. But all along, all they're giving you was 2 aspirins or 2 Panadol. And you're thinking this is some heart medication, while your heart is getting worse and worse. So they tricked them, and then in the meantime, while they were tricking them, they were observing them. They were giving them aspirins and mineral supplements, despite the fact that the penicillin is what became the recommended treatment for syphilis in 1947. What they did, researchers they even convinced the local physicians in the area to not treat any of these people. So you would say that the local physicians were also in on it. In order to track the disease full progression, researchers provided no effective care to these men. Inject them with it, come back a year later, watch how it progressed, come back another year later, watch how it progressed, come back another year later, watch how it progressed. And the whole time they're documenting it. They watched while these men went blind, while they died, and while they even went insane, because this is the full extent of syphilis if it is not cared for in the human body. And this is exactly what they did. So if you're asking, again, why people so paranoid, it's because they have reasons, legitimate reasons to be paranoid. In the mid-60s, the venereal disease investigator in San Francisco named Peter Buxton found out that the Tuskegee study and expressed his concerns to the superiors that it was unethical. Remember, I think this study went on for 40 years. By the time, as a result, Buxton leaked the story to a reporter friend of his, who passed it on to a fellow reporter, Gene Heller, of the Associated Press. Heller broke the story in July of 1972, promoting public outrage and forcing the study to be shut down. So they had no intentions of shutting this study down until they were leaked and found out. By the time this study was over, 28 participants had perished from syphilis. 100 more had passed away from related complications to the syphilis. At least 40 of their spouses had been diagnosed with it, and the disease had been passed to about 19 children at birth. This is all for their documentation. Okay? You can read the rest of this, right, at history.com. The Tuskegee Experiment. I'm giving you my links. All right, I'm going to cut that one off. Now, people want to know, what about this ship? First of all, let me tell you this. This is not the first time that they're coming to Jamaica. For those of you who don't know, they've been there before. So, voice notes going out telling people, don't go down there, don't go take nothing them I give you. Guess what? They were already there. They've already treated thousands of people in Jamaica. Someone is going to say to me now, I wonder why them picnic are born so. You see how them just kill like mad people? 34 people dead last week in Jamaica from murder, you know. Anyway, and we've been saying for the longest what is going on in Jamaica. I'm not trying to make nobody paranoid. I'm just saying this is what might be said. People are now looking at what has been happening, how diseases have been developing in the country, because there are certain diseases in Jamaica that were not there before as prevalently as they are today. But foreign aid workers have always been coming into the country. Now, the Chinese did it. The Chinese were there with their hospital ship up to recently, 2011. I'm reading it right here. The Chinese hospital ship that launched in 2007 stated intervention of giving China a platform to provide a better means to provide quicker humanitarian responses to disasters around the world, but others contended that it also allows China to extend the Navy's blue water capabilities. During what was called a harmonious mission in 2011, Peace Ark visited Cuba, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and this was the first Chinese voyage to the Caribbean, and that was in 2011. In November of 2013, she made that trip again. In October of 2017, she made that trip again. So I don't know why y'all think it's only the US ship that's coming there and it's the only one, or it's the first time. I'm just letting you know that it's not the first time. Now, here's some information on the ship that is there right now. Okay? The ship that is there right now is like this. With more than 7,000 medical personnel, 5,000 units of blood, and 12 operating rooms, the USNS Comfort is what the ship is called. It is the world's biggest hospital ship. It comes from the USA, and it is now docked in Jamaica as I speak on this video right now. Alright. With more than 700, now first of all, anybody with sense is going to say 5,000 units of blood. You know, the blood bank is always saying they want blood. I can understand that lady on the voice note that says they don't hand out free medical care in the US, because I've seen people get wheeled out in a wheelchair out of a medical facility because they didn't have insurance to cover the treatment. I have seen people get a stroke and not able to get proper medical care because their insurance did not cover it. While I, as a therapist, was there working with people who had proper insurance, I had to walk past the person who didn't have it, and I felt sorry for them. But that's how they operate here. So she has a point when she says them not give away free medical care up here. So why them in Jamaica give away free medical care? I mean, these are just questions that any logical person would ask, right? Others can say, look, it's a humanitarian thing. Every first world nation, so to speak, that's connected to a third world nation as an ally usually gives away a little something now and then. And for them, it's just a drop in the bucket. It's nothing big. It's just to keep the friendship and let them know that, hey, we're on your side, kind of thing. Anyway, so with more than 7,000 medical personnel, 5,000 units of blood, and 12 operating rooms, it is one of the largest trauma facilities in the United States. This sets it apart from most others is that it just happens to float. This is the USNS Comfort, which along with its sister ship, the Mercy, is the largest ship in the world. The twin ships are actually oil tankers that they turned into floating hospitals. Each one is the height of a 10-story building and the length of 3 football fields. The Comfort, like the one that's in Jamaica right now, the Comfort recently docked in Jamaica as a part of a humanitarian mission called Continuing Promise. Now, I said in the video, I'm going to tell you exactly why they're there in Jamaica, and you can make up your mind as to after I've showed you when I show you. So, this is called Continuing Promise, which will see it sail around South and Central America and the Caribbean. Jamaica was the third of 11 stops that will take place over the next 5 months, during which time the staff aboard the ship will care for more than 100,000 patients. Captain Christine Sears is a urologist, and she's the chief medical officer for this mission, her first aboard the Comfort. One-on-one, she said that one-on-one, as a surgeon, you can help a person. And it's dramatic, and it's personal, it's fulfilling. But being able to reach more people is such a blessing, to be able to lead and to help more people. As well as performing surgeries on a ship, the crew sets up temporary medical sites on shore as well. So they're not only on the ship, they have set up some temporary medical sites on shore as well, with the Comfort, which is the ship, carrying all the medical supplies that they need. Each country gets roughly 30 to 40 pallets of supplies, and whatever is left over is donated to that host nation. So all the medical supplies and everything that they came. For those of you who are paranoid, if you think, oh God, that because they're coming with some tainted stuff, guess what? They're leaving everything there as a donation to our medical facilities. And not only medical facilities, there are construction sites and everything else as well. Other types of supplies on board. This massive undertaking is funded by the US government as a projected cost of $40 million US. Now, of course, we have a thing in Jamaica where we say, nobody now give you nothing for free. Something in a something. And anybody will give you something, them want something in return, right? And with that, we'll take that to our bed. So, while they also donate money and supplies and volunteer time. It's part of our overall military strategy, explained Captain Sam Hancock. He's been in the US Navy now for almost 25 years. But a mission like this is a first for him. The partner nation building, working to develop the relationship with the countries in this region and with the personnel, whether the Ministry of Health and everything that we work with coming into each country, the relationships that are being established will pay dividends in the future, he said. Now, I'm going to stop that there, and the rest of what needs to be read or be said, I am going to do it behind pictures. So what I want you to do now is I want you to listen carefully. You will not be seeing my face again. Listen carefully. We are back on the promo thing again. The payments are through Cash App or PayPal. So artists, projects, whether the artists have an album or the artists have a clothing line or the artists have a single, bio, if the artist just want an introduction out there, make people know, say, yo, me have this going on, this is a new artist coming out under this label. So all the artists, them link up. Businesses, we're promoting all those things. So if you do catering, tailoring, dressmaking, mechanic, barbershop, beautician, you name it. If you have a business out there and you want that business to be promoted and you feel like this channel can do something for your business, then link up quick. So link up with SouFLoTV and make we get the promos out and about. I'm out. Peace. It's a massive effort on all fronts, but the hospital ship needs more than just doctors, nurses, and medical staff. The Comfort is a fully operational vessel with engineers, a flight crew, cleaning staff, and a kitchen where chefs have 1,000 mouths to feed 3 times per day. Medical stations. In Jamaica, the Comfort's medics left the ship to set up medical stations in gymnasiums and existing clinics, providing services including pediatric care, women's health, cardiology, eye exam, general service, dentistry, and everything else in between. So what is this there? I'm telling you exactly what it is they have on paper that they are coming there to do. Among the Comfort's patients was a lady named Marlene Maxwell. She's 56 years old and she's from Kingston, Jamaica. And for 8 years, she's been living with an overactive thyroid, a gland near your windpipe that produces hormones to help keep your body in check. It hurts, she says, and sometimes you feel it come up like it just block your airway, says Maxwell. She says that the healthcare in Jamaica is good if you can get it, but she's been waiting around for 3 years for her surgery. So Maxwell went aboard the Comfort to have her enlarged thyroid removed. This is her own testimony. Her nurse was Lieutenant Junior Grade Kimberly Stoops, who is a 27-year-old, and it was her first deployment with the Comfort, and she did her best to put her patient at ease. I know it's scary for a lot of these patients coming onto the ship, and they're not familiar with all this, she said. A hospital in general is a scary place, but then coming somewhere where it's not your territory and then seeing people in uniforms, that can be daunting. So I try to break down these borders and introduce my name and ask the people if they have any questions, try to explain things thoroughly to them before I do them so that I don't catch them off guard before I do them. So I don't catch them off guard. But it can be tough to be away from home on long missions. It's hard to be away from home, but it's also great knowing that we're doing really good work out here, she said. A lot of mixed emotions are going on. You have those days where you really miss home, and then when you come into the ship and you see someone smiling, a smiling face like Marlene Maxwell, and just so much so that it tells you that you're doing really good things, and it brings you right up again. A big part of the Comfort's mission was helping to train Jamaican medics as well. So they're there on the ground, they're training our medics in Jamaica, they're leaving behind tons of supplies, they came with their own supplies, and they're handing out free of charge medical care surgeries that a lot of people who are taking these surgeries would otherwise never have gotten the surgery, and their conditions would have continued to be worse. Or so you're looking at people who are, you would say, stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? A big part of the Comfort mission was helping to train Jamaican medics. First assistant on Maxwell's operation was Dr. Natalie Wiley, an ear, nose, and throat surgeon, and she is head of the Kingston Public Hospital as well. For her, the Comfort was a most welcome visit to local shores. I think the whole of Jamaica welcomes the Comfort, she said. If they could see more patients, if they could do more surgeries, if they could stay longer, if they could just leave the ship with us, she joked. The operation took several hours for Maxwell, but it went well, and Maxwell returned home the next day. Jamaican doctors also helped with the operation, and they continued with her follow-up care. So I don't know if I'm easing anybody's worries by telling you that a Jamaican doctor is point there and present. Well, they were at her surgery. So this is their way of also training our medical personnel on the stuff that they know, right? So as she recovers, the Comfort will continue on its mission with stops in Nicaragua, Panama, Colombia, El Salvador, and many more. It's a remarkable example of what a highly trained hospital staff can do, even on the high seas. Now, like I said before, and I got that one from CNN, okay, because CNN is covering it as well. And like I've said before, people are feeling some sort of way because, experiments have been done on people before. If you are a Jamaican and you want to find out any more about this, please go to CaribbeanMedicalNews.com. And it says Jamaica/US/Navy hospital ship to offer medical services. The headline is Jamaica US Navy hospital ship to offer medical services. And it's at CaribbeanMedicalNews.com, where you can read upon this stuff yourself and maybe give you some type of comfort or increase your paranoia. I don't know. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. I've given you the reason why people are paranoid. And there are legitimate reasons. I've also given you the outline of their mission, why they're there in Jamaica, and what they are doing there, what they plan to do there, the supplies they brought with them, the number of people that will be serviced by this vessel, and the role that our medical personnel are playing in this alongside them. Let's talk about this some more in the comment section below. Education is a hell of a thing. It's SouFLoTV, man. I'm out. Wish y'all the best. Peace.